Welcome to Dub Nation, your home for all things Golden State Warriors. Highlights, hot takes, and pure Dubs energy. Join the squad. This is where champions live.
Fact of the matter is you have the greatest shooter on God's green earth that is still a superstar in this league playing for the Golden State Warriors, although I would have liked to have seen him in the three-point shooting contest last night, fellas, since that is his home turf. It would have been nice to see him in the three-point shooting contest instead of sitting around being a spectator. But that's me. Having said all of that, we know what Steph Curry is. We know what he brings to the table. Jimmy Butler brings a different dimension, and I can respect where Draymond is coming from. Because you have a guy that's totally different than Steph Curry, but it's complemented them thus far. They're 3-1 in the 4 games that Jimmy Butler's been there.
Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves for a seismic upheaval in the NBA. The Golden State Warriors, once the undisputed titans of basketball, are teetering on the edge of oblivion as the 2025-26 season approaches. At the epicenter of this storm stands Steph Curry, the greatest shooter to ever breathe, a 37-year-old legend who scorched the league with 24 3 points per game last season, drilling 41.7% of his 8 3-point attempts. But the whispers of decline have become a deafening roar. Is this dynasty crumbling under the weight of time and doubt? Enter Jimmy Butler, the 35-year-old gladiator who stormed into Golden State via a blockbuster trade in February 2025, igniting the team with a 27-point, 8-rebound eruption in Game 4 against the Houston Rockets, propelling them to a 3-1 series lead. Together, Curry and Butler are the last bastion of a franchise staring into the abyss. But here's the gut-wrenching truth. With an aging core, a merciless Western Conference, and a fan base desperate for redemption, can they defy the odds? Or are we witnessing the final embers of a once unstoppable empire? The Warriors' 23-7 record in their final 30 games with Butler shows their potential, but the stakes are apocalyptic, and the world is holding its breath. The Warriors' legacy hangs by a thread, but let's dive into Steph Curry's fiery resolve to crush the naysayers. Steph Curry isn't just a superstar. He's a revolution. A 4-time NBA champion, a 2-time MVP, and the architect of the three-point era that turned basketball on its head. At 37, he's facing the same tired narrative that's haunted the Warriors since 2019. They're too old to compete. Pundits scream that no team with a core of Curry, Butler, and Draymond Green, 35 or older, has ever hoisted the Larry O'Brien trophy. But Curry, he's spitting in the face of that noise, his eyes blazing with defiance. In a raw, exclusive interview at the American Century Championship in Lake Tahoe, he told NBC Sports Bay Area's Monty Poole, "We've heard it even before the 22 championship. It all comes down to health. Health, that cruel assassin that struck in the 2025 playoffs, when Curry's hamstring buckled in Game 1 against the Minnesota Timberwolves, dooming the Warriors to a 4-1 series loss after a commanding 3-1 lead over Houston. Curry's not backing down, though. He's banking on his growing chemistry with Butler, Green's relentless intensity, and the rise of young stars like Jonathan Kuminga, who averaged 1 points and 2 rebounds last season on 52.9% shooting. The man who sank 402 three-pointers in 2015-16 and led the Warriors to a 73-9 record isn't ready to fade into obscurity. Not now, not ever. Curry's defiance is a beacon, but the spotlight now burns on Jimmy Butler, the wild card who could tip the scales. Jimmy Butler didn't just join the Warrior, Shea crashed into their universe like a supernova, reshaping their destiny. Traded from the Miami Heat in February 2025, this 6-time All-Star transformed Golden State, powering them to a 23-7 record in their final 30 games. His defining moment, a jaw-dropping 38-point, 7-rebound, 6-assist masterpiece in the play-in game against Memphis, dragging the Warriors into the postseason with sheer willpower. In the playoffs, Butler's 27 points and 8 rebounds in Game 4 against Houston sealed a 3-1 lead, even as he battled a pelvic injury that would have sidelined lesser men. But here's where the fire ignites. X is ablaze with controversy. Some fans scream that Butler's $55 million contract over 2 years is a reckless gamble on a 35-year-old body, with posts on X claiming he's 1 injury away from retirement. Others worship him as the perfect counterpoint to Curry's finesse gritty. two-way juggernaut who brings playoff ferocity the Warriors haven't seen since their 2015-18 dynasty. Butler's intensity is undeniable, but the question looms like a storm cloud. Can he endure the grueling 82-game marathon, or will his body betray him when the stakes are highest? The Warriors' redemption hangs on his answer. Butler's fire is electric, but a bizarre off-court moment threatens to cast a shadow over the Warriors' focus slits. Unpack Curry's trophy scandal. Now, let's dive into a moment that had NBA fans roaring and Warriors haters licking their chops. Picture this. It's 2023 at the American Century Championship in Lake Tahoe, and Steph Curry, fresh off a heart-stopping walk, off eagle, casually strolls away with the tournament's only trophy, a 26-year-old relic from 1990. American Century CEO Jonathan Thomas spilled the chaos on the Dan Patrick Show, revealing the sheer panic when Curry left with the prize. "We only have one trophy," organizers cried, scrambling as their 18-year tradition vanished with the NBA's Golden Boy. Curry, with his 4 Larry O'Brien trophies, 2 MVP awards, and a trophy case bursting at the seams, didn't mean to spark a frenzies, just used to winning everything in sight. But X exploded, with fans joking that Curry's heist mirrors the Warriors' slipping grip on their dynasty, with one viral post quipping, "Curry's stealing trophies, while the Warriors' championship hopes are stolen by injuries." Yet, Curry's 5th-place finish in 2025, scoring 58 points under the modified Stableford system and outshining most of the field, proves he's still a competitor. Is this a harmless laugh, or a sign of deeper chaos in Golden State's ranks? The answer could haunt them as they fight for redemption. From trophy gaffes to playoff heartbreak, the Warriors face a gauntlet. Let's break down the do-or-die stakes for 2025-26. The Warriors are staring down a brutal, unforgiving truth. Their championship window is slamming shut, and the clock is ticking louder than a bomb in a silent room. At 37, Steph Curry remains a 24, 3-point-per-game assassin, sinking 3s at a 41, 7% clip on 8 wheat attempts per game. At 35, Butler and Draymond Green bring unmatched fire, but rumors of 39-year-old Al Horford joining the squad scream desperation to some and genius to others, with ex-posts debating whether Horford's 7 points and 2 rebounds last season can anchor the paint. Last season, the Warriors roared to a 3-1 lead over the second-seeded Houston Rockets, only to crash against Minnesota after Curry's hamstring injury in Game 1. 9 second-round playoff appearances in 13 years prove their pedigree, but a 7th finals trip in 11 seasons slipped away in 2025. Curry's plan is clear: rest, recharge, and rebuild chemistry during this unfortunately longer offseason. But the West is a slaughterhouse. Oklahoma City's 51-31 record and Denver's Nikola Jokic, who averaged 26, 4 points and 4 rebounds, loom like giants. Will Kuminga, with his 16 enter, 1 points per game, become a star? Can the Warriors afford trade targets like Bradley Beal or even LeBron James, as whispers on X suggest? If they don't strike now, the dynasty that redefined basketball could crumble into ashes. The Warriors are on the ropes, but it's time to rally the faithful and demand a fight. Let's ignite the call to action. Warriors Nation, hear me now. This is your clarion call to arms. Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler are ready to spit in the face of every doubter, but they can't do it alone. The 2025-26 season isn't just another year, it's a battle for redemption, a chance to prove that age is nothing when your heart beats with championship fire. Curry's 3-point sorcery, which saw him sink 357 threes in 2024-25. Butler's playoff tenacity, averaging 9 points across 12 postseason games. And Green's never-say-die spirit could ignite a 5th championship run. But the front office must act lock in young talent like Kuminga, who shot 9% from the field, secure a center like Horford, and drown out the skeptics screaming too old. The Warriors have been to the second round 9 times in 13 years. They know how to win, but they need your passion to fuel the climb. Flood the comments with your predictions. Will Curry and Butler lead the charge, or will the dynasty fall? Smash that like button, and let's demand the Warriors chase that 5th ring. The dynasty isn't dead, it's gasping for one last breath. Subscribe for every heart-pounding update, and let's ride with the Dubs to the mountaintop. This is Dub Nation, where warriors never back down. Hit that like, drop a comment, and stay locked in for the next big play. Till next time, Dubs out.